Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I have just completed week 17 of training for my first ever half marathon, which means I've only got 5 weeks left. We're down to one hand. It's getting real. And in light of that, I thought this might be a good time to just sort of reflect a little bit on where I'm at, how I'm feeling going into this. As well, I only did 2 runs this week. It was what they call a deload week, so the mileage was a lot lower. There was really no focus on paces. It was all easy runs. And in fact, one of the runs was basically optional. It said right in the training plan, if you think that you might benefit more from a rest day, do that. And so I did, because I really did need the rest. But something really cool happened this week, or at least cool from my perspective. For the first time in my life, I ran for the sake of my mental health, not because it was scheduled to be done. And all throughout these 17 weeks, I have been mostly very diligent with my training schedule. I have 3 runs a week scheduled, and I would say probably 14 out of those 17 weeks, I have hit all of those runs. There has been some illness, there have been some injuries, but for the most part, as long as I am not injured or ill, I am adhering to my training plan. And so this week, I had a run scheduled on Wednesday, but on the Tuesday, my anxiety was at like an 11. I could feel that I was just like ratcheted right up for absolutely no discernible reason. That's the fun side of anxiety. It's not necessarily tied to anything. It just appears when it wants to. And that's what it did. So all day I was struggling with it. And then I got to thinking, like, how am I going to combat this, right? Like in the past, before gastric bypass surgery, food would have been a great crutch. I used to refer to them as carb days in some strange way of trying to normalize what I was doing, which was essentially binge eating. And that's not the road I want to go down, but nor do I want to like curl up in a ball and just succumb to this anxiety and just be crippled by it. So I thought, you know what? I've got to run on Wednesday. It's scheduled for 6.5. Why don't I just do 3K? Just stretch the legs out, get outside, get some fresh air, get some activity, see what it does. Well, I got to the 3K mark and then I just kept going. So I did the full 6.5 on Tuesday rather than on Wednesday. And it's the first time that I have actually run for the sake of my mental health. I actually wanted to do it, and what's more, I was kind of craving doing it. That felt like an accomplishment in and of itself. What's also really cool is that for that 6.5 kilometers, I didn't take any walking breaks. And I am a big supporter of adding walking breaks into your runs. I think it makes running so much more approachable, so much more forgiving on the body, and it just keeps it from being as hard as running can be. And yet, I'm still trying to get to the point where I can comfortably cover 10 kilometers without stopping for walking breaks, if only to just prove to myself that I can. So as I was going along, there were certainly moments where I wanted to slow down to a walk, but I just kind of pushed myself a little bit and just kept saying, you know, maybe another 500 meters, then we can walk. Things of that sort, until we were down to the last 500 meters. And I was just telling myself, well, now you've only got 500 to go. You may as well finish it off strong. And I did. And every time I have those positive runs, it really does make me feel that much more confident going into the half marathon. In any event, I feel like I am veering off course at this point. So let's just wrap this particular segment up. And speaking of veering off course, let's take a look at my first ever trail run effort, because I have shite navigation skills. That's all I gotta say. Good morning. I've got 11 kilometers easy on the schedule today, so I thought that I would do something a little bit different and do an actual trail run. Never done this trail before. I've tried to find it over the years and I've never really had much success until today, so at least we're, winning on that front. I'm kind of trying to outrun the rain. It was blue skies earlier today, not so much anymore, but like I got my hair done just a couple days ago, and if this gets wet, it will curl. So there's my motivation to keep it going today, even though it is at an easy pace. I still need to be cognizant, gotta protect the hair. We all have to have priorities, right? So anyways, here's hoping. I tend to get myself terribly lost when I do trails, so who knows? It could just be a massive adventure today. I am most definitely lost already. We're not even 2 kilometers in, and I'm just kind of freewheeling it here. There's no trail markings whatsoever, but I've got water, I've got trees, it's not yet raining, there's no mosquitoes. We're finding the victories where we can. So let's see if this will actually lead me somewhere where I want to be. All right, I'm over halfway done. I've got about 5K left. I'm not convinced that trail running is for me. Just gonna throw that out there. It's pretty, I'll give you that, but it's humid as shit. And the number of times I've almost rolled my ankle, like when you're on the road, you can just kind of like zone out and go with it. Not so much on trails. And I hear some sort of motorized something, and I'm pretty sure I'm on a bike path. So I guess I should put my phone away and eyes up, look alive. 8 kilometers in. This has been mentally more challenging than my 18K run last week. I don't know if it's just the humidity or the fact that like I have no idea where I'm going. I'm just kind of going in circles, or the fact that it's just really busy on this trail. I don't know, but it's getting to my head. Also, I have blisters developing, which I'm not happy about. I have a 10K race next week. I don't want my feet torn to shreds. But my winter runners, because it's been raining for like days, and I thought the trail was going to be a lot muddier than it's turned out to be. I could have got away with my ons, but I wore these ones, and they don't like my feet very much. So this is fun. I'm just full of complaints. I should be grateful. I really should be. But this is a tough slog today. All right, 11 kilometers done. Not setting any records today, that's for sure, but I will still chalk it up as a win because I really wanted to quit very early on. And my husband, he's in the car over there with our son, they were fishing at a lake that's nearby. So I could have called him and he would have come pick me up. But I'm glad that I stuck to it. Even though it's probably the slowest pace I've ever done, at least I did it. Knock it off as done. On to the next week of training. We've got 5 weeks until the half marathon. That's gonna go by so fast, and I'm really excited. So at least now I know with this one, I can do tough things. I can stick to it even when I don't want to. And that's the mentality that's gonna get me through the race. So with that, I will sign off for this week. Thanks for following along. I'll see you next week. Bye.